Hi, boys and girls. Miss Belanca here. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about our telling time on the hour. I know yesterday you listened to Miss Keith talk to you and give you some information and then watched a Brain Pop video. So I just wanted to have us do some practicing now since we have some information about how to tell time to the hour and to take a look at how we do that with our clock. This is an analog clock. And remember, analog clocks are clocks that show all of the numbers. I have, of course, you should know now that this is the hour hand. It's going to point to the hour. And then we have our minute hand, which is pointing right now to the 12. And we learned yesterday that when we see this on the 12, we say o'clock. That's how we tell this in our time. So right now, if I look at the time that I have the hour hand on 3, which would mean 3 is what I say or write first. And then I have my minute hand on the 12. So I would write the o'clock. And we learned yesterday when we write o'clock, it's 00. So right now, the time on this clock is 3 o'clock. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to go get, and you can pause this video if you need a minute, go get a pencil or something to write with, and then any kind of paper from your house. Because I'm going to show you on our screen a couple of different times. And one of the things that I'd like you to do is practice saying it, I should say, and then also writing it. So go ahead and pause this video if you need a minute to gather those tools, and then come on back and start it again. All right, so when we look at the screen, we've already discussed that there's 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock on the clock. But we learned yesterday that an hour has 60 minutes. So watch what I do when I turn my minute hand for 60 minutes or an hour. And now I want you to really pay attention to what is happening to that hour hand. We saw that the hour hand was moving slower than the minute hand, and the hour hand after 60 minutes, or an hour has gone by, is not on the 3 anymore. It has moved to a new number, and the new number is a 4. So it's not 3 o'clock anymore. It is now 4 o'clock because our minute hand is still on the 12. It's moved 60 minutes, but it's still back now to the 12. So 4 o'clock is how we would write this. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to give you a time, and I want you to write it on your piece of paper. So here's the new time. We're going to go backwards a little bit. Okay, so here's our new time. Take a look at it. I want you to write on your piece of paper how you would write this if you saw it on a clock. Take a minute and do that. Think about everything you need when you write time. You need the hour, you need a colon, and then you need the minutes. Take a look. And you can pause the video if you need a minute. Hopefully, and I'm sure you did, you wrote the time that looks like this. You wrote 2 for the hour because our hour hand is facing or pointing to the 2. And then you wrote our 00 for our minute because it's an o'clock. So we would say this time is 2 o'clock. We write it as a 00. We don't write it like this. And you see I've put an X through this because 2:12 is not the time that is on my clock. That's a different time. So remember, when you're writing an hour, you want to go ahead and include that 00 for the minute. Okay. All right, let's do another one. Watch this time go by. So we're flipping, and it's now some hours have passed, and we have the hour hand on the 6 and the minute hand on the 12. Pause the video if you need to and see if you can write the new time on the clock. When you're ready, go ahead and unpause it, and I'll talk about what time you should have written. Okay, if we look at where our hour hand is pointing and where the minute hand is pointing, your time should be 6 o'clock. The 6 is pointing to the hour. And then, of course, we have our minutes as o'clock because it's pointing to the 12. Okay. All right, let's do another one. There we go. I'm going to say an hour has gone by now. So remember, your hour hand goes slower, but let's stop it right here. Take a look at where your hour hand is and where your minute hand. Stop the video if you need to. Write down the time and then start it when you're ready. Okay. I'm sure, because you're pretty smart boys and girls, that you have written 7 o'clock. We have 7 because the hour hand is pointing to the 7, and that's what we start with when we write time. And then, of course, we have our o'clock or our 00 because the minute hand is on the 12. All right, last one, boys and girls. Here you go. Couple of hours have gone by now. We're going to stop right here. Pause the video if you need to. Take a minute to write it. All right, hopefully your writing looks like this. 11 is our hour, 00 o'clock is our minute. So we would read this as 11 o'clock. Okay. All right, boys and girls, nice job with this. We will continue to talk more about some clocks and other times and hours and half hours in the next couple of days. Miss you. Bye.